Hi, I'm Courtney Mays, and this is Kirt Whiteside, and we have gathered information for you so that you can learn a little bit more about the Cup. And we've gathered these questions from past travelers and people who are coming with us in the future. And so we thought we would just compile this video for you. We'll actually do it in two segments. So this is part one. Kirt, how long have you been doing the Cup?
We have been at this since 1996, which makes this almost 22 years.
So in Cup 2018 will be our 22nd year.
That's correct.
And why did you start this? This is such a unique trip and experience. What made you start this?
When I was working with the French team some years ago, I kept teasing them a little bit about how good the American athlete was, and interestingly enough, they were like, well, bring them on. And of course, when you're being challenged like that, they're like, I want to see how good they really are. And interesting that we brought them over, and we actually did show them how good the American athlete was. So they did get a first-hand view of the athletes that are in America and how good we are.
So you mentioned France in the beginning. So that's where it started from. Is that where you are now?
No, we actually started in France, and then it was French and Swiss, and then the French, Swiss, and the British, and then the British came, and then the Dutch were in the fourth year, I believe, and then all of a sudden it became, why don't you do this in the Netherlands, because they are, they were saying that we are the best in the land for fast pitch softball, and we never looked back and have been there since year number 5.
So, a long time.
A long time. That's it's been a good relationship with all the people that we worked with over there. It's been an incredible place to be and place to play.
All right, tell me a little bit about European athletes. I hear they might be a touch older than the athletes that we bring over.
Yeah, we've had, actually we did have a 42-year-old pitcher once for the Dutch team, and she was pretty awesome, but generally speaking, the ages are average age probably 24, 25, 26. We did, until this past year, we had a 35-year-old catcher, and that won part of the team that won the event, and I mean, she was very, 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 very good. So an absolute stud. But yes, the ages are different. We tend to bring the 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old athlete.
So we bring high school athletes.
Yeah. So.
And how do they compete with the older, much wiser women?
Yeah, of course, we're talking about a much wiser woman here.
Right.
Anyhow, interesting that we bring that up a little bit. I think we are really, really good athletes. Not saying the Dutch and the Czechies and Russians are not, because they're very, very good athletes too, but being that when you get older, you become a little bit more wise. Mm-hmm. And when you're a little bit more wise, you play to your strengths or against your weaknesses, and sometimes when you're real athletic and very young, many times you don't know your weaknesses yet. You try to fight through them instead of recognizing those are the weak spots, and that's where the European athlete is kind of good if you package up their great athletic ability with wisdom as well.
Have the Americans ever won?
We won 7 years, and we could win more, I think, if I actually put an all-star team together, but oddly enough, I don't have a feeling to put a great team together simply because it's not fair to the other ones. But
okay, so 7 times, that's pretty exciting.
Not bad. It hasn't been in the most recent years, but it's coming. So
okay, so let's transition a little bit more into what the trip looks like. Could you give a quick, simple itinerary of what the travelers could expect on the trip?
This is going to be as quick and as simple as I can get.
I'll be listening.
We are gone from Wednesday to Wednesday. Wednesday night we leave. Thursday morning, early, we're in like between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. So that day of Thursday is a kind of a get your legs back, jet lag kind of day. We do have a meeting that evening. We work with some national level athletes from the Netherlands, and we work with the youth of the Dutch, mm-hmm. which are 9, 10, 11-year-olds, which is kind of fun for all of us. Friday morning, we're up early and headed to Amsterdam, which is where Anne Frank's home is, which is really fun for us. It's a historic thing, too. Also, the city is from the year of 1200, so that makes it interesting for being in a city that old. I don't think there's anything in America quite that old. Then we're up again on, on Friday, we actually have to get the girls back because we've got to get them fed. They've got to get changed, and they've got to be on a train because opening ceremonies and let's see, their first games are Friday night. Saturday and Sunday are pretty duplicate days. We are up in the morning, headed by train to the field, so that's Saturday, Sunday. Sunday after closing ceremonies, which is midday, we are on a motor coach headed to Paris. Monday and Tuesday are duplicate days in Paris. We get up with the rest of the athletes and families, and between 8 and 9:30 we kind of meet them in the breakfast hall and discuss where you're going, what you're doing, how can we help you, kind of get you guys acclimated to where things are at and how to get there by metro and so forth. Then Wednesday morning we're up on a motor coach headed to the airport and normally back home by supper time or so, depending on where in the States we're coming from.
Okay. What do you do about safety? How do you handle the safety there?
Two approaches we have. One is we put a parent with every athlete, so that really covers one thing, because obviously you're
that was
really,
going to be my next question on chaperoning.
Yeah, well, there's a chaperone or a parent. Sometimes it's a grandparent with every athlete that goes. So that's our first line of offense on safety. The second one is we're rooming that parent or chaperone with the athletes. That's our second kind of line of offense. And then the third one happens to be where we stay. We're not staying in hostels where you're only 20 athletes to 2 parents. We're staying in 5-star hotels both in Paris and in the Netherlands. So needless to say, that's our second or third, I guess, third line of offense on the case of trying to keep everyone safe as we can keep them.
Okay. Now, let's talk about school just for a minute. Are they going to miss lots of school while they're gone?
School-wise, they can go to school on Wednesday, the day we leave, long enough to have it count for a day, in most all cases. So Thursday and Friday, they're going to miss school. Mm-hmm. Monday is Martin Luther King Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, they will miss school.
So everyone's off on Monday?
Most everyone, except for the other day, I learned that Montana doesn't take off that. But anyhow, okay. Tuesday and Wednesday, there are no school. They'll be missing school for 4 days. So 4 days totally they're going to be missing.
That's actually pretty manageable.
8 days and 7 nights, 4 days off school. That's a pretty good time.
So this is going to wrap up our first segment of the questions, and we hope that you'll click on the link to watch the second segment.